A cab driver's life changes in an instant after a rock from a slingshot hits him in the eye, forcing it to be removed. His recovery story only seen here. Here's Kristen Drummond.
A new way of living for Tilahun Teginge.
I have to practice this new life with one eye.
A life he continues to build after immigrating to America from Africa in 1999.
It's the land of opportunity.
At home, now in Las Vegas, he adjusts to his new reality of preparing food.
It's not warm, you want to warm it up.
And getting around after losing his left eye.
How has life changed?
Big. So big. It's new experience. I can't reach something, the one I need, I thought I reach, but I can't.
Metro police say the taxicab driver was hit in the face by a rock from a slingshot last month.
Friday, it is a busy day.
He was taking customers to Treasure Island and stopped at a light on Las Vegas Boulevard to turn into the resort.
Windows down, I was talking with my customer, I was chatting with them, and suddenly something popped up and then hurt me a lot. It is big time bleeding. I never seen blood like that.
Passengers dialing 911 while he tried to remain calm. At the hospital, a doctor informed him they needed to remove his eye.
When he told you you're losing your left eye, what were you thinking?
Oh, it's shocking.
But Teginge stays resilient.
You want a bowl?
With the help of his 22-year-old daughter, Blaine, who assists with his medication and driving him to appointments.
My dad's a really independent man, but this past month, trying to help someone who's so independent after they've been dealing with something like this is very difficult.
But her father remains driven to still chase that American dream despite this setback.
Still, I am motivated to work. Yeah.
Still be a taxicab driver?
I don't think so, because I have very big blind spot to drive.
Kristen Drummond, News 3.
We certainly wish him all the best. Well, Metro Police are accusing a father and son for not only hurting that driver, but shooting rocks with a slingshot at buildings and other vehicles on the Las Vegas Strip. All of this happening in October and earlier this month. Officers ultimately arrested Enrique Duarte Hidalgo 2 weeks ago. Hidalgo's son is a minor, and it is unclear if he will face charges. Meantime, a GoFundMe page was started by that man's daughter to help with her father's unexpected expenses. If you'd like to help as well, visit news3lv.com for a link to that.
Cases are going up. Fortunately, the solve rate is too. Metro detectives who work commercial robberies are having a very busy year, taking criminals off the streets.
Yeah, and tonight's Operation Crime and Justice, News 3's Anise Rosh explains why it's rarely a one-and-done sort of crime.
It's an operation that took hours.
Just a lot of boxes and boxes and boxes.
Neighbors on this otherwise quiet street near Rancho and Sahara watching as police remove a truckload of stolen goods. A suspected fencing ring moving everything from computers to small appliances to golf clubs. A criminal enterprise now permanently out of business with 3 suspects under arrest.
I'd see them going in the side gate all the time with boxes, so I thought it was an Amazon. You know, they were selling stuff on Amazon or eBay. Who knew?
And according to Metro Lieutenant Joe Lepore,
it's exploding. It's exploding right now. Absolutely is.
The type of crime his unit specializes in, commercial robberies that often occur as a series.
A series constitutes 3 or more robberies committed by the same suspect or suspects. When we have that, that gets a lot of attention because as these things keep going, the risk to the public could be more and more because these guys are getting more brazen as they do each and every robbery.
And take a look at these numbers. So far this year, Metro has investigated 26 robbery series that account for 121 individual crimes. 33 people have been arrested. But the biggest takeaway is this.
And we've solved 25 of the 26 series. There's 96% solve rate when it comes to that.
That includes the case of the so-called Rainbow Revolver. 61-year-old Alcide Malonson arrested in February, accused of hitting 9 businesses along Rainbow Boulevard, including banks and pharmacies.
So, I mean, these are not usually one-and-dones.
They're usually not one-and-dones. We, most of the time, our suspects are the recidivists. We've noticed that a lot. That's a common theme, unfortunately. So a lot of guys that we've arrested already on these things have been on probation for the same thing in the past.
Another example, Zabid Al-Jarmi, just this month charged with robbing the casino cage at a strip resort. Investigators say this is also him from 2 years ago. Evidence presented to a grand jury of another cage robbery. Court records show in that case he was given a suspended sentence of 2 to 5 years and placed on probation. That was in May.
Now, as for the fencing operation, this neighborhood is once again quiet. Over $1 million worth of evidence was collected here, and where possible, that merchandise was returned to the stores it came from. But that doesn't make this a victimless crime. In fact, nothing could be further from the truth.
Retail crime is a $1 trillion problem here in the United States.
Brian Wachter is with Retail Association of Nevada, who says consumers pay a heavy price.
It absolutely affects prices. I mean, the way a business makes money is to sell products and services. And so in order to make up for the total cost of operating those stores, those supply chains, all the way from the raw materials to the finished product, you have to be able to reflect that in your cost. And so all of these things are underlying reasons for cost increases.
But Metro continues to fight back. Lepore says crime prevention specialists at each area command can work with business owners to help make them less of a target. And as for making purchases online, his advice is pay attention to packaging and price. If the deal seems too good to be true, it probably is. He also stresses tips from the public help detectives build and make a case.
It's a team effort. It's not my detectives doing everything. We need the help of the community, and the community comes through for us in a big way.
Denise Rosh, News 3.
Tonight, doctors are urging people to get flu shots. This comes after the Southern Nevada Health District confirmed the first 2 flu deaths of the season in Clark County this week. Katie Munch talked to a mom who had to rush her 2-year-old daughter to the hospital.
Yeah, Marie, health officials say Clark County is considered to have very high flu activity, which is why hospitalizations have doubled.
Can you do passe? Passe.
2-year-old Catalina Vega is back to showing off her moves at her big sister's dance lessons.
Yay!
But last week, the toddler had a runny nose, wasn't eating, and couldn't get out of bed.
The one thing that made me take her to the doctor and say this is more than just a cold was 1, the fever, and 2, her upper respiratory. She wasn't breathing right.
The ER doctor sent Roxana Valdez home with medicine to treat a respiratory virus.
I think the worst part about being a parent is when you see them sick.
The Southern Nevada Health District says more people are visiting the hospital for influenza-like illnesses, and cases have spiked in the county. From November 13th to November 19th, 67 people were hospitalized for the flu. Pediatrician Zubin Armarsi says she's overbooked.
You know, 20 is a pretty busy day, and I think on Monday we saw almost 30. And we do have a policy of not turning patients away when they're sick.
Dr. Armarsi says the illness is more extreme this year because we've spent more time inside due to the pandemic.
Seeing like more people getting sick just because our immune systems are not used to it. And the other thing is in the younger kids, they haven't been exposed to this a lot. So in the past, 5- and 6-year-olds will have seen RSV before. Now they might not have seen it before because they haven't been in school and in daycare for a couple years.
Like Valdez, the pediatrician says early treatment will keep you out of the hospital. She says it's important to see a doctor within 2 days of getting a fever. Now, Dr. Armari doesn't always recommend the flu shot because she says it is 60% effective. However, she says she is this season due to all of the positive flu cases.
Hi, everybody. I'm Reed Cowan from News 3 Las Vegas. We want to thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. Remember, you can always see more of our videos by clicking on the video links. And also don't forget to click that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of our YouTube updates. Thanks for watching.